Monday, March 27th, 2023. Monday mornings are the most dangerous day of the week when feeding street cats, but it's not the stray dogs or the homeless people you have to look out for. It's the jerk machines on their way to their shit job at 4 a.m. Most of the people in my apartment building have made me public enemy number one, and this was the case from the moment I moved in before I even started feeding the cats. Before I moved to these apartments, I taught some of the young people who live here when I was a high school teacher, and I remember noticing how so many of them had a chip on their shoulder. Some of them I taught for a whole semester, 6 months, and I always wondered how they got to be that way. After living in a small building with them for 4 years, seeing how they grow up and who they're influenced by, it's no longer a mystery. I've made it my job to not only feed this colony of street cats, but to also protect them from hateful and jealous hearts. There were 2 instances today with 2 of the uncivilized young men who live here. Both of them drive cheap white cars, which I can only assume they're paying out the ass for. Both are men in their 20s who share a tiny apartment and bathroom with their mother, father, siblings, and sometimes grandparents. They see nothing wrong with this living arrangement and get upset for me pointing out how uncommon and unsanitary it is. These are all one-bedroom apartments here. I'm a single man. So don't say I should move out when you have 5 or 6 people living in a one-bedroom apartment. 5 people produce 5 times more waste than I do, and it seems like the dumpster here is overflowing every other day. One of these simple brutes drives his parents to work every morning at 4 to 5 a.m. in his car. It's probably an agreement because neither of his parents have cars, and that's the same with the other kids' parents. They made the mistake many young people make and lease a car they can't afford, thinking it's going to change their dreary lives, but it only gets them more stuck. I was feeding the cats by the dumpster, and the first guy with the white car backs up right to where I was feeding, so I flashed my flashlight briefly at him. He gets out all puffy and even has the nerve to act like he's going to go after me. I didn't flinch. I told him I'm not scared of him and I'm 25 years older than him. He kept his parked car right there, idling with the lights on for 30-40 minutes, just like he does every day. A telltale sign somebody is not successful in life is if they're sitting in a parked car just idling. When his elderly parents finally got into this horrible-sounding vehicle, he sped out of the parking lot, almost hitting the cats in the process. 20 minutes after this, after I was done feeding, the other hothead in the white car comes out and he scares Ginger off of his car. I wasn't going to say anything. I just put my hand up like, what are you doing? I was going to let it slide. But then this poor kid has the audacity to call me a crazy person right there. I'm 20 years older than him and the only college graduate he'd ever known. Normally, one adult doesn't call another adult crazy person unless they have a significant reason to. Most people would consider feeding hungry street cats as somewhat normal, but living with your immigrant parents and grandfather and sharing a toilet with them in the United States, well, that's actually crazy. This young man has severe anger issues, and he proved it today. He didn't know I was filming at first, and rewatching the footage, it looked like he was trying to control himself unsuccessfully. He went off on a belligerent tirade, saying the most idiotic nonsense. The reason there's an issue is because despite these young men's humble upbringings and dire living situations, they lack humility, and they're full of entitlement. They may not even be citizens of this country. They act like they hate this country, but I'm sure they love food stamps and any other benefits they receive. The best way to make somebody feel entitled is to give something that they have not earned. My name is Mr.G, and I'm a badass mofo. Aloha.